right, and let's get ready for this week's retirement alert. This week's alert is all about teaching you that now the timing of the stock market returns for the first time in your entire life actually matters. Now, when I say that, you might be thinking a couple of things right off of the bat. Some of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, now the timing of the returns matters. How so? Some of you might also just be thinking, well, wait a minute, I just kind of figured that this entire time, or my whole life, the timing of the stock market and its returns would have to matter, right? So why all of a sudden is something different, right? So certainly a lot of different ways that we can go with this. So let's teach you what we mean when we say this. Now, this week's alert is going to start off with the pop quiz. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry to do this to you, but we're going to start off with a pop quiz, and it's a pretty difficult one, so get ready. What is 1 times 2 times 3? All right, the answer is 6. Okay, so not terribly difficult. Now, second part of this quiz. What is 3 times 2 times 1? All right, the answer is still 6, isn't it? In other words, when we had the same numbers there as we were looking at some math, it didn't really matter what order those numbers happened in, right? We ended up getting to that number 6 as the answer either way. In other words, the timing of when those numbers happened pretty much didn't matter to us at all. Now, what a lot of people may not realize is for our entire lives before we retire, we're just saving and growing and investing our money. We're not ideally pulling from those retirement accounts. So the stock market's return, the order, the timing of which those returns happen does not matter to you whatsoever either for your entire lives. Now the question simply becomes, as we eventually get to retirement and as we eventually actually need to start pulling money from our accounts, does it still work the same way? Or for the first time ever, does the timing of which the stock market has its different returns for the first time actually matter for you? Right? In order to teach you this a little bit, let's go ahead and show our first visual up here behind me on the screen. Now, what you're going to see is a hypothetical starting value of somebody's retirement accounts of $500,000. So you'll see that highlighted right there. Somebody starting with $500,000. And what you'll see on the left-hand side of this screen here is just a period of years. And we just decided to choose the years 2000 through the years 2011. We're looking at the S&P 500 here. Really, basically, all we're trying to show you is what the stock market, in this case, the S&P 500, what its calendar year returns were each of those years from 2000 through 2011. It could be any numbers, but we're just looking at actual stock market returns now. Basically, what you're going to see, it was a pretty rough start, right, with the 2000, 2001, 2002 years, and it finished off okay those last few years. And you'll see that at the bottom, you ended up with $428,000, okay? So not a great 12-year period of time. You didn't get back to even. You finish with $428,000. On the right side of your screen, it's the same $500,000 starting value, and it's the exact same stock market returns. It is the same series of numbers for the S&P 500. All we did was flip-flop the order. That's it. This time we have a better start in the beginning and the really rough finish, as opposed to the first time, that really rough start with a better finish. Now take a look at that number at the very bottom of the right screen, and you once again finish with exactly the same amount of money, that pretty near $428,000 number. It's the same exact lesson we just learned on our pop quiz, right? Which is 3 times 2 times 1 is the same thing as 1 times 2 times 3. When the stock market has its different returns, some years are good, some years are bad. The order doesn't matter. We end up in the same spot. Now the proverbial question is, what happens when we physically need to start pulling money out of our accounts to live off of in retirement? Let's take a look at this next visual. And it's basically the same exact thing. You'll see in the middle there that we use that same $500,000 starting value. You'll see there those years, 2000 through 2011, on that left-hand side. You'll see this same exact stock market returns. Once again, pretty rough start in those early 2000s, finished off okay there those last few years. But this time we're going to show you pulling $20,000 out that first year, increasing it by 3% every year to adjust for inflation. On the bottom left-hand side, you'll see you finish with only about $125,000. Once again, on the right-hand side, the only thing we did was flip-flop the order. It's the exact same stock market returns. This time, again, better start, worse finish, and this time you finish with $197,000. That's 37% more money. It was the same exact stock market, same period of time. You pulled out the same money. One person got unlucky on the left that the stock market had a bad start. One person got a little luckier on the right that it was a better start. The point being is, for the first time ever, the timing of the market matters. And you can't afford to go into retirement hoping to be lucky and avoid being unlucky. We have to put a plan together for how you're going to generate income, where you're going to generate from, and how you can keep yourself safe from this phenomenon known as the sequence of returns risk. Take a look at that number on our screen. Visit our website. There's a lot of strategies out there that we can arm you with to help make sure this doesn't happen to you.